Hey, crafty babes. I'm back and I wanted to show you a little look inside my 2019 Unpocket Pages notebook. I have a previous video on my 2020 notebook where basically all of the magic of an Unpocket page began. And I decided that since I already had the rest of my 2019 pocket pages already batch processed, which means that I had my photos and my cards already in the pockets. I decided that I would take the rest of what I hadn't completed yet and get them into the same format. I am using a fringe notebook. This is just a basic notebook. I find these typically at TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, those kinds of places. And so today I'm going to walk you through my 2019 photos, and these are all personal, more along the lines of my personal documentation, and not a lot of family stuff in here, more about my outfits, things I like, things I'm eating, pictures of me. So that's what it is. Most of these are going to be in the grid format, and because basically I already had this combination picked out. And so that made it really easy to just come in here, place them in here, and then just add the sweet little elements, stamping, whatever I wanted to. But I love the fact that I can have a nice grid and then also like kind of explode the rest of my, my things all over the page if I need to. Here I have this beautiful picture of what was supposed to be me and Charlie, but it ended up just being myself. And this page does go together. It is supposed to be a 2-page spread. So a lot of times I have more like a grid on one side and then more like some kind of either collage type of situation on the other side. So here I just used, gosh, there's so much stuff here, but a lot of stuff from Citrus Twist and TRG Honeys. And I tried to do kind of something similar here. There is this love stamp from Illustrated Faith in one of their stamp sets. And it's kind of got all these different sized loves. This is actually just one stamp, this whole collage. But it felt like it needed to go along with that just because that one was kind of layered the same way. I have a process video for this one. This is a trip that I took to see Alyssa in Colorado, and I used all of Madison from Felicity Jane to make this spread. At one point, I had my studio set up this way, nice and clean. My walls were kind of beautiful and brand new, and I have probably rearranged about 3 times since these photos were taken. But I love being able to capture that at certain points because things do change and things do look different. And even if it doesn't look like this right now, it did at one point, and I want to make sure I capture that and remember that as well. Here I have, these are 2 separate pages, but here is just a 4 up where I've got some really fun Studio Calico rainbow paper, and I love being able to have like a little washi border and do like stamping that kind of hangs off the edges. I love the fact that I can fit more than just 4 cards / 3x4 cards or photos on one page. And here I love that it just has enough room to kind of feel like a typical scrapbook layout. So you can have just one photo and then you can use stamping or art starts like I used here with from Ali Scraps, and just kind of treat it more like a regular scrapbook page. Here I used a bold pattern back here to back everything with a nice solid green. And then I have one photo here, and then I used the rest of it like a collage. And I've got some things hanging off the edges and up here. It just feels so good to have a little bit extra space. And speaking of space, this notebook is really fun for just easy, simple pages. I've got one photo and I've just got a little bit of elements spread around here and a quick little list, date, a label and a tab, and we're done. I love that I can have so many different styles in one book. Here is a page that is using all Citrus Twist kits. One of their, I think this was, gosh, I want to say it was January. I think this was either January or February's kit. I don't know, but it was gorgeous. I loved all the wood grain, and the orange and the teal worked really well together. And I loved how it fit, really coordinated well with these photos. Here I have room for a title up top, which is always super fun. I ended up moving the grid down so that it was a little closer to the edge so that I could have room up top for a title, which I normally don't make titles with, pocket pages in general. But this one felt like it needed it. Here on this side, this is one that I actually created at my Retro Hip Crafty party when we all went glamping in Texas in February of 2020. Yep, 2020. And this one was really fun, just utilizing kind of the golden triangle rule and having like a nice section here, a cute little cluster here, and then another cluster here. Added some texture with this cute little pom-pom, and of course, everything that I can print on my Square Instax, I am doing that. I love these double page spreads because they just feel like kind of back to the basics. I can use as many, cards and photos as I need to. And I love being able to, again, to just hang things off the edge, let things pop outside of the cards, things that you just can't do when you're in an actual pocket page. This is a page that I created for my Crafty Babe crew members. And so there is process video for this if you are a member. If you're not, you just get to see this. But I really liked the way that this turned out. I just picked a few favorites and then listed them out here using, these are Polaroid printouts from issue number 10 of Retro Hip magazine, and then just had a lot of space to do the journaling, and then extra little chunks of clusters everywhere, which is really fun. Here is a not my favorite page, but I had already picked out these 4 to go together, and I just wasn't really feeling it. I didn't really have a lot of fun doing this page, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't get to be documented. I'm not going to tear it out. It didn't come out. Like, I should have probably warmed up before I did that. This one, on the other hand, I really adore. This photo has nothing to do with being outside, but it was around the same time. I was doing a lot of walks through the trails early in the morning during the summertime. And it just felt good to use some nature colors instead of like bright pinks. And so this one was just really fun. Oh, I love this. This was when Susanna and I got a chance to hang out at Hobby Lobby for a few hours, and we just had such a blast. I added some washi just so that we had just some black every so often to kind of coordinate with just the black and white photo and the black type and the black too. So it's really fun to have a lot of color, but also to then balance it out with some contrast. This page here, again, was not my favorite. I really did have, I had great ideas for how this was going to turn out, and the photos were super bright and great quality photos, and I love the colors, but for whatever reason, I tried things that didn't really feel natural to me, like going here and doing some interesting paper clusters or some layering that just didn't feel very natural. So overall, not my favorite page, but I love the colors and I love the photos and I love the idea, but I did not execute it well. This, on the other hand, I love how this turned out. I did this while watching one of Susanna's streams on Twitch. She doesn't do them anymore, but during her one of her live streams, she started out at her layout, and as I was watching her do it, I was like, oh, I think it would be really fun to mimic what she's doing, and as she's working on hers and doing my own version of it. And so it was really fun to do while we basically scrapped kind of the same layout together. This was so much fun. I loved starting with one color and then moving through another color and then ending at another color. This is something I really love doing. It's basically opposite of what I typically do, which is throw the same, throw a color around so that it's, everything's evenly distributed. I really love doing the opposite of that. This was a really fun exercise. Well, not a fun exercise. This was fun, plain and simple. Both of these pages have elements from my Boy Mom set that's available through Illustrated Faith, the Print and Pray shop. And this one over here just is about being a boy mom, and, that's important. And it's an important mark I want to leave on the world. But I really loved using all of the elements. It's so fun to create the items and then use them on my own pages. It's kind of nuts. This is a card that comes in that kit. It's got a very vintage comic book feel. And so I made these cute little comic strips with things that Bible moms may have said that we would probably also say in today's world of mothering. And I basically used the card as the foundation, and then grew florals and different items out from under it. That is the end. That's all I've done in my 2019 notebook so far. So be sure to check out the 2021 also. There's a lot of different layouts in that one. I'm doing some different things, and I will continue filling this up until all of my 2019 photos are captured and documented. So I hope you enjoyed that a little look inside. Let me know if you have any questions. I will put as many links to things that I mentioned in the description as possible. But of course, I use so many different things. I'm not going to be able to do links for everything. So if you have this question about something that you saw in here specifically that wasn't mentioned, please just leave a comment. I will be happy to answer. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk soon. Bye.